Can everybody hear me okay? Ooh, yeah, I guess you can. Thank you all so much for coming. This is a very big day for us. There are two things that I would like to share with you. The first, that I, along with my fellow union members standing beside me, are very excited to announce that the State Employees Association's Board of Directors, at the recommendation of our Political Education Committee, voted to endorse Senator Bernie Sanders for President of the United States. The members of the State Employees Association Union took so much into consideration when making their decision, but it ultimately came down to two questions. Which candidate has proven the track record of supporting working men and women and advocating for issues that matter to most workers and their families? Fair pay, good benefits, fully funded pensions, job safety, I could go on and on. Senator Sanders has walked picket lines with workers across the country for decades. He has fought to strengthen wages, rights on the job, and the power to organize. And the second question that we asked ourselves was, which candidate can the SEA union members trust to personally have our backs? Even now, while running for that Democratic nomination for president, he took the time to stand with our workers. In the fall, he stood with not yet unionized workers at Rockingham County who ultimately voted to join our union and unionize with us. Yeah. Just a few weeks ago, he called us and asked for a press conference and stood with us, employees fighting for fair wages. Which brings me to the other issue that I'd like to speak to you about. The state employees that you see here standing beside me have been out of contract for 7 months with Governor Christopher Sununu, who does not care about them. These state employees keep our roads plowed and safe for the public. They take care of our veterans. They make sure New Hampshire's most vulnerable children are protected. They perform so many jobs that often go unnoticed, but all of you rely on them in some way or another. Without them, New Hampshire would not function. There is no reason why Christopher Sununu should stand in the way of a contract that gives them a modest 4% wage increase over the next 2 years. Senator Sanders has used his voice to raise awareness to the struggles that we greatly appreciate that he has walked alongside us. We trust Senator Sanders to stand up the big money interests that keep workers like New Hampshire state employees down. Politicians like Christopher Sununu represent these special interests. We know that we are in for a fight, but we also know Senator Sanders is having our backs, and we know that it's a fight we can win. SEIU Local 1984 takes its first in the nation primary very seriously, which is why we kept that in mind, the millions of workers in this country who are underpaid, overworked, and struggling to get by in making this endorsement. We are united with them. We believe that together we can rebuild and restore the American dream for all of us. For these reasons and more, we are thrilled to endorse Senator Bernie Sanders for president. Now I'd like to introduce the 2020 National Co-Chair, Senator Nina Turner. Nina Turner was most recently the president of our revolution, and previously she served in the Ohio State Senate, where she advocated for progressive causes such as education and healthcare reform. She was the Democratic nominee for Ohio Secretary of State and a strategic leader of the Ohio Democratic Party. Outside of the political arena, Turner has decades of experience as a college professor and a motivational speaker. Nina, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Mr. President, so very much, and to all the members of SEA, SEIU 1984 for this mega endorsement of Senator Bernard Sanders. I was just saying to the President and some of the members just a few minutes ago that we are so glad that you are rocking with Senator Sanders because he is rocking with you. has, as the president laid out, been rocking with the workers of this nation for a very long time. This is not brand new for him. This is not just because he is running for president. He has been on many picket lines his entire career, and he will continue to be, as he likes to call himself, the organizer-in-chief. I want to quote a quote from Asa Philip Randolph, which I know many of you are familiar with him as an organizer and a leader in the union movement. He said, "The essence of trade unionism is social uplift. The labor movement has been the haven for the dispossessed, the despised, the neglected, the downtrodden, and the poor. SEIU, thank you for always being on the front lines for that group of people. We know that unions lift wages all over this country, even for our sisters and brothers who are not in unions. We thank you for standing strong and boldly with the workaday people of this nation who deserve to live a good life." And that is what the presidency of Senator Bernard Sanders is about, to stand on the side of the working class people of this nation, the despised, the dispossessed, the neglected, the downtrodden, and the poor, as a partner with unions. And speaking of partners, we have a big surprise for you, because our very own Senator Bernard Sanders is on the line right now. Take it away, Senator.
Thank you very much. Okay, and let me thank the brothers and sisters in the New Hampshire State Employees Association and the SEIU for their support. This is a critical moment in American history, and together we are going to win the Democratic nomination, and we are going to defeat the most dangerous president in modern American history. And what I want to assure you is that as a former mayor in Burlington, Vermont, I know how important municipal services are and what state employees do, how vital you are to maintaining a decent quality life for the people of New Hampshire. Clearly, right now, at this moment, cities and towns all over America need significant amounts of federal support to do the work that they need for their constituents. And that is what the Sanders administration is about. We are going to help rebuild our crumbling infrastructure. We're going to build the affordable housing that communities need all over America. We're going to focus on opioid addiction, and we're going to guarantee health care to all people as a human right. But in addition, I also want to thank the SEIU for their great work as trade unionists. All across this country, millions of workers understand the importance of the trade union movement in terms of getting decent wages, in terms of getting decent benefits, and in terms of getting dignity on the job. And as president, what we will do is stand with workers across this country who want to join unions. And that is why we have introduced the Workplace Democracy Act, which we believe in a 4-year period will double the number of workers who are members of unions in this country. So once again, let me thank the New Hampshire State employees, Rich Guller and the SEIU for your great support. We're going to work as hard as we can in New Hampshire. We're going to hold as many meetings as we can, talk to as many people as we can, because what happens in New Hampshire is going to influence clearly this entire election. So once again, thank you so much for your support. Let's go forward together. Let's defeat Donald Trump. Let's transform this country. Take care. Thank you again.
Well, Mr. President, I want to bring up Sister Sarandon, though, stand up to
Thank you. I just want to thank you all. I'm a union member myself, and unions are so important, and everyone deserves to be in a union if that's what they want. Unions, I mean, without unions, you know what life would be like. We'd be right back to slavery, probably, with no ability to negotiate, with no standards of safety. And so I've always educated the members of my union to make them understand they are in a union when it comes time to cross a picket line, because sometimes actors don't get that the Screen Actors Guild is a union and that you have to respect other unions. And so that's been a little bit of an educational process. But I'm so thrilled to have been here when this very, very important event took place, because every state by state is looking at every state. New Hampshire is such an important state, and I'm an East Coast person myself, and I've always enjoyed all the beauty of New Hampshire and Maine, and I'm from the city, but we've camped here, my family, and I'm really, really happy to be here with you now for this such an important endorsement. So I thank you from the bottom of my heart, because we're going to do this, and this is a very, very important step, so we don't take it lightly. I thank you all. I know you gave it a lot of consideration, and though I would have been shocked if you didn't endorse Bernie, but still, you never know. And so we were very, very happy today to hear this, and again, I thank you.
Thank you, Susan. Thank you, Senator. Thank you, members. Thank you all for being here today. That concludes our endorsement. Thank you.
Thank you.